Hello everyone. Welcome to this video, where we'll explore a critical topic for our health: the foods that can fuel cancer cells and how to avoid them. Drawing inspiration from the knowledge of renowned health expert Barbara O'Neill, we will uncover which foods foster an acidic environment in our bodies, an ideal setting for diseases like cancer to thrive. But first, let's understand why maintaining a proper pH balance in the body is vital for our health. The pH of our body is a measure of its acid-alkaline balance, and its impact on our health cannot be underestimated. While our blood maintains a stable pH between 7.35 and 7.45, making it slightly alkaline, tissues and cells can experience significant changes. For instance, when cellular pH drops to more acidic levels, such as 5.5, we create the perfect environment for the development of serious conditions like fungal and bacterial infections, and most notably, cancer. Barbara O'Neill reminds us that cancer loves acidity but hates oxygen. This means that, in addition to avoiding foods that acidify the body, we should seek ways to oxygenate our tissues. This is where mindful eating plays a crucial role. A diet that promotes alkalizing foods and limits acid-forming ones can make the difference between a healthy body and a breeding ground for disease. In a previous video, Barbara highlighted 7 essential alkalizing foods to protect us from cancer. Today, however, we'll focus on the darker side, the 9 worst acid-forming foods that, if consumed excessively, can be a decisive factor in the development of chronic diseases. What are acid-forming foods? Acid-forming foods are those rich in minerals like phosphorus, sulfur, and chlorine, which, after being metabolized, increase the acidic load in our bodies. While some acidic foods can be consumed in moderation, excessive intake of the most harmful ones can disrupt our pH balance, depleting essential alkalizing minerals like calcium, magnesium, and potassium. Throughout this video, we will analyze each of these foods in detail. But before diving into the list, let's reflect on a key question. Are you willing to transform your diet to protect your health? Food number 1. Red and processed meats, an acidic ground. Now that we understand the importance of maintaining a healthy pH balance, let's delve into the first group of acid-forming foods we should avoid: red and processed meats. Meats, especially red meats like beef, pork, and lamb, as well as processed meats such as sausages, hot dogs, and bacon, are rich in proteins and phosphorus. While these elements are necessary in certain quantities, they have a significant acidifying effect on the body. Barbara O'Neill mentions how Dr. Colin Campbell, a renowned nutrition researcher, was able to turn cancer cells on and off in rat studies simply by adjusting the amount of meat and dairy in their diets. This highlights a key point. Excessive consumption of red and processed meats can activate metabolic processes that encourage the growth of cancer cells. When we consume meat, it undergoes a metabolic process that generates acidic compounds like uric acid and sulfuric acid. The body must neutralize these byproducts to maintain stable blood and tissue pH levels. To achieve this, the body extracts alkalizing minerals such as calcium from bones and magnesium from muscle tissues. Over time, this constant demand can lead to mineral deficiencies, weakened bones, and increased systemic inflammation. Furthermore, processed meats often contain additives such as nitrites and chemical preservatives that not only amplify their acidifying effect but have also been linked to a higher risk of colorectal cancer and other chronic diseases. A study by the World Health Organization, WHO, classified processed meats as Group 1 carcinogens, meaning there is sufficient evidence to conclude that their consumption is directly linked to cancer in humans. Red meats, on the other hand, are classified as Group 2A, considered probably carcinogenic. This doesn't mean we need to eliminate meat entirely from our diets, but we should be mindful of the quantity and frequency of its consumption. Research suggests that limiting red and processed meat intake to no more than once or twice a week can help reduce the risk of serious diseases. While red and processed meats are an important source of protein, there are healthier alternatives that can fulfill this role without the same acidifying impact. Legumes, such as lentils, chickpeas, and beans. Fatty fish, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, like salmon and mackerel. Tofu and tempeh, soy-based substitutes that are excellent protein sources. Quinoa, a pseudo-cereal with a complete protein profile. Reducing the consumption of red and processed meats not only protects our body from an acidic environment but also benefits our cardiovascular and digestive health. Food number 2. Hybrid wheat, a problematic ingredient. Welcome back. In this segment, we'll explore one of the most common and misunderstood acid-forming foods, hybrid wheat. This ingredient, prevalent in much of our daily diet, can be a key factor in increasing body acidity and triggering various intolerances and health issues. The wheat we consume today is not the same as the wheat from thousands of years ago. Ancient wheat, known as einkorn or heritage wheat, had a much simpler and more digestible protein structure. Over the years, however, this wheat was subjected to hybridization processes to boost yield and meet the growing global food demand. In the 1950s, a highly productive hybrid wheat was developed, but it came with a much more complex gluten structure. While this hybridization benefited farmers by increasing crop yields, it also brought unexpected consequences. The gluten in modern wheat is extremely difficult for the human digestive system to break down. Hybrid wheat is not only a highly acidifying food due to its mineral content, but it has also contributed to the rise of problems such as gluten intolerance, irritable bowel syndrome, and other digestive disorders. When we consume products made with hybrid wheat, such as bread, pasta, cookies, and cereals, the body faces significant challenges in processing its complex proteins. One of the most common effects is the development of bloating and brain fog. These symptoms are signs that the body is struggling to digest gluten and manage the increased acidity it produces. Hybrid wheat can also play a role in creating an environment conducive to cancer cell development. Its acidifying metabolism and ability to trigger chronic inflammation are factors that, according to Barbara O'Neill, can contribute to the proliferation of serious diseases. Although hybrid wheat is everywhere, there are ways to mitigate its negative impact. 1. Opt for heritage alternatives. Look for products made with einkorn or spelt wheat, which have simpler gluten structures. 2. Explore gluten-free grains. Quinoa, millet, amaranth, and brown rice are excellent alkalizing options. 3. Minimize processed products. Many cookies, breads, and cereals are made with highly refined hybrid wheat. 3. Choose whole and organic options whenever possible. 4. Include more fresh foods. Increase your intake of fruits, vegetables, and legumes to balance the acidic load of wheat in your diet. Hybrid wheat exemplifies how advances in agriculture, while necessary at the time, can have unexpected side effects on our health. Reducing its consumption not only helps maintain a healthy pH balance but also improves digestion and reduces inflammation. Food number 3. Caffeine. Caffeine is a natural stimulant found in coffee, tea, cocoa, and numerous energy drinks. Its most well-known effect is providing a temporary energy boost and improving focus. However, behind this spark of energy lies a less positive impact, an increase in body acidity. When we consume caffeine-containing foods or beverages, the body metabolizes it, producing acidic compounds as byproducts. These compounds, combined with caffeine's diuretic effect, can disrupt the balance of essential minerals like magnesium, potassium, and calcium, which are crucial for neutralizing acidity in the body. Barbara O'Neill highlights that an acidic environment is an ideal breeding ground for cancer cells. Caffeine not only contributes to acidity but can also elevate stress levels in the body by stimulating the release of cortisol, the stress hormone. Chronic stress, combined with an acid-forming diet, creates a vicious cycle that can weaken the immune system and foster the proliferation of abnormal cells. Additionally, caffeine consumption is often paired with other unhealthy habits, such as excessive sugar intake. For instance, energy drinks and sodas contain not only caffeine but also large amounts of sugar, multiplying their acidifying effect and health risks. Coffee is one of the biggest culprits when it comes to acidity. With an average pH between 4.5 and 5, coffee not only directly acidifies but can also irritate the stomach lining, especially when consumed on an empty stomach. Tea, although less acidifying than coffee, can have a similar impact depending on its variety and caffeine concentration. Should we eliminate caffeine altogether? Not necessarily. While reducing caffeine intake is a good idea for maintaining pH balance, it's not essential to eliminate it entirely. Here are some recommendations to minimize its negative effects. 1. Opt for alkalizing alternatives. Replace coffee with herbal teas or infusions like ginger or chamomile tea, which contain no caffeine and help balance pH. 2. Reduce daily intake. Limit your caffeine consumption to 1 cup per day and avoid consuming it in the afternoon or evening to prevent interference with sleep, which is vital for cellular regeneration. 3. Avoid adding sugar. If you drink coffee or tea, try to avoid refined sugar and use natural sweeteners like stevia in small amounts. 4. Stay hydrated. For every cup of coffee or tea, make sure to drink at least 1 glass of water to counteract its diuretic effect and help eliminate excess acidity. Caffeine can occasionally be an ally to keep us alert, but excessive consumption leads to an acidic imbalance that directly affects our health. Being mindful of the quantity and quality of caffeine-containing products we consume is essential to protecting our bodies. Food number 4. Refined sugar, the sweet enemy of your health. Now we'll talk about an ingredient that is omnipresent in our diets and undeniably deserves to be called the sweet enemy, refined sugar. This food not only acidifies the body but also directly feeds cancer cells, as noted by Barbara O'Neill. Although refined sugar has a neutral pH of about 7 before being metabolized, its effect on the body is markedly acidifying. During its digestion and metabolism, sugar produces byproducts like lactic acid and acetic acid, which increase the body's acidic load. Additionally, the process of metabolizing sugar depletes essential alkalizing minerals such as calcium, magnesium, and potassium. This not only disrupts the body's pH balance but also weakens bones, muscles, and other vital tissues. In simple terms, every gram of refined sugar you consume forces your body to use critical resources to counteract its harmful effects. Refined sugar not only acidifies but also acts as fuel for cancer cells. These cells have an accelerated metabolism and require large amounts of glucose to survive and multiply. As Barbara O'Neill states, cancer loves sugar. By consuming excessive refined sugar, you're not only promoting an acidic environment but also providing cancer cells with the energy they need to thrive. Excessive sugar consumption has additional harmful effects that indirectly contribute to the development of chronic diseases. 1. Chronic inflammation. Refined sugar triggers the release of inflammatory cytokines, which can damage tissues and increase the risk of diseases like cancer, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disorders. 2. Disruption of gut microbiome. Sugar promotes the growth of harmful bacteria and yeast in the gut, leading to an imbalance in gut flora and contributing to greater acidity in the body. 3. Insulin resistance. Constant sugar intake forces the pancreas to release large amounts of insulin. 3. Over time, cells become resistant to this hormone, raising blood glucose levels and creating an ideal environment for disease development. How to reduce the impact of refined sugar. Eliminating refined sugar entirely may seem challenging, but there are practical steps you can take to minimize its consumption and negative effects. 1. Read labels. Sugar often hides in foods we wouldn't consider sweet, like sauces, bread, and processed products. 1. Learn to recognize its many names on labels: corn syrup, fructose, dextrose, among others. 2. Opt for natural sweeteners. Replace refined sugar with natural alternatives like honey, in small amounts, coconut sugar, or stevia. 3. Consume whole fruits. Fruits are naturally sweet and, unlike refined sugar, are accompanied by fiber, vitamins, and minerals that help mitigate their impact on the body. 4. Reduce gradually. If you're used to consuming a lot of sugar, try decreasing the amount progressively. 4. This will help your palate adapt and reduce cravings. 5. Prioritize fresh and unprocessed foods. Focusing your diet on whole foods like fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains will automatically lower your refined sugar intake. Refined sugar is not merely a guilty pleasure, it's a direct contributor to an acidic environment and many chronic diseases, including cancer. By making conscious decisions about its consumption, you can protect your body and promote long-term health. Food number 5. Aged cheeses, an acidic food to moderate. Welcome to the 6th and final part of this journey through foods that create an acidic environment in our bodies. Today, we'll examine a food that is very popular on many family tables: aged cheeses. Although they are delicious and full of flavor, these cheeses can be highly acidifying and contribute to an environment that supports disease development. Aged cheeses, such as blue cheese, cheddar, Parmesan, and Gouda, undergo a maturation process that can last weeks, months, or even years. During this time, bacteria and fungi break down the proteins and fats in the cheese, creating its characteristic texture and flavor. However, this process also intensifies its acidic content and protein load, which can negatively affect our bodies. Why are aged cheeses acidifying? Barbara O'Neill explains that aged cheeses are rich in proteins and phosphorus, two components that, when metabolized, produce acidic compounds. Additionally, some cheeses, like blue cheese, contain mold, which can trigger inflammatory reactions in sensitive individuals or those with weakened immune systems. This high acidic content requires the body to use alkalizing minerals to neutralize it. When these minerals are not available in sufficient amounts, the body extracts them from bones and other tissues, potentially weakening the skeletal system and promoting chronic inflammation. Excessive consumption of aged cheeses can contribute to 1. Increased body acidity. This fosters an environment ideal for the development of cancer cells, fungi, and harmful bacteria. 2. Higher risk of cardiovascular disease. Aged cheeses are often high in saturated fats and sodium, which can raise cholesterol levels and blood pressure. 3. Digestive issues. For those with lactose intolerance or sensitivity to dairy products, aged cheeses can cause bloating, stomach discomfort, and other digestive problems. 4. Overproduction of mucus. Some cheeses stimulate mucus production in the respiratory tract, which can be problematic for individuals with asthma or allergies. How to moderate cheese consumption. It's not necessary to eliminate cheese entirely from your diet, but moderation is key, along with opting for healthier alternatives. 1. Fresh cheeses. Varieties like cottage cheese, ricotta, and fresh cheese have much lower acidic content and are easier to digest. 2. Plant-based alternatives. Nut or seed-based cheeses, such as cashew cheese, are alkalizing and lactose-free options. 3. Limit portions. If you consume aged cheeses, do so in small amounts and occasionally rather than as a staple food. 4. Balance your diet. Pair cheeses with foods rich in antioxidants and alkalizing properties, such as leafy greens and fresh fruits, to mitigate their acidifying effects. Aged cheeses are a culinary delight enjoyed by many, but it's important to consume them in moderation and be mindful of their impact on the body. Balance is key. A diet rich in alkalizing foods, like fruits and vegetables, can counteract the acidifying effects of cheeses and similar foods. Now that we've discussed some of the most common foods that contribute to an acidic environment, it's time to wrap up with the 4 remaining foods that also significantly impact the development of cancer cells. Understanding these foods is essential for making informed dietary decisions and preventing disease. Food number 6. Alcohol. Although not a traditional food, alcohol has a severely acidifying effect on the body. When metabolized, alcohol produces compounds such as acetaldehyde, a known neurotoxin and classified carcinogen. This compound not only damages liver cells but also fosters an inflammatory and acidic environment throughout the body. Excessive alcohol consumption weakens the immune system, impairs the body's ability to eliminate toxins, and promotes tumor development. Moreover, combining alcohol with other unhealthy habits, such as smoking or consuming processed foods, further aggravates the problem. To protect yourself, reduce your alcohol intake to minimal levels or eliminate it completely. Food number 7. Acidifying legumes. While many legumes are highly nutritious, some have a significant acidifying effect. Examples include pinto beans, fava beans, and dried peas. Although these legumes are healthy when consumed in moderation, they can contribute to excess acidity if eaten in large quantities or without being balanced with alkalizing foods such as leafy greens. To enjoy the benefits of legumes without fostering an acidic environment, choose less acidifying options like lentils, soybeans, and black beans. It's also important to pair them with foods rich in alkalizing minerals, such as spinach or avocados. Food number 8. Refined grains. Refined grains, such as white rice, white flour, and pasta made from processed wheat, are another major source of acidity. During the refining process, the outer layers of the grain, which contain most of the alkalizing nutrients like fiber, vitamins, and minerals, are removed. The result is a food that rapidly raises blood sugar levels, stimulates inflammation, and promotes acidity in the body. Replace refined grains with whole grains like quinoa, brown rice, or millet. These alternatives are not only less acidifying but also provide more nutrients and sustained energy. Food number 9. Acidifying nuts. Although nuts are considered healthy foods, some can be highly acidifying. Among the most problematic are peanuts and macadamia nuts. When consumed in excess, these nuts can contribute to a pH imbalance in the body due to their phosphorus content. To minimize this impact, choose more alkalizing alternatives such as almonds or Brazil nuts, and consume them in moderate amounts. Be sure to select unsalted and sugar-free versions to avoid additional ingredients that could worsen acidity. Now that we've covered the 9 worst foods that fuel cancer, we can better understand how our daily choices directly affect our health. The key is not just to avoid these foods but to build a balanced diet that prioritizes fresh, whole, and alkalizing foods. Remember, your health is your greatest wealth. If you're concerned about your diet, start by making small changes, replace acidifying foods with healthier options and focus on maintaining a balance that supports a neutral or slightly alkaline body pH. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content on nutrition and wellness, and share this video with your loved ones. Together, we can raise awareness and promote healthier lifestyles. Thank you for joining us, and see you in the next video. This video is for informational purposes only and does not replace professional medical advice. Always consult your doctor for specific guidance tailored to your situation.